see a dream, that dream is green. And I don't mean material things. Freedom to the land, child, woman, and man. As we take up for what we stand. Better days and better nights. As we stand and unite. We're one and the same. Why is it so hard not to point and to blame? Better sheet, get our houses in order and we'll see the peace. There are steps that we must take if we wanna see.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. Couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us.
The sake of us, the sake of us.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. Couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. No more failing, telling, being beneath. What a beautiful moment, and a sight I can't wait to see. Even if I miss it, at least I wasn't part of the mission. Changing lives of men, women, and children. All glory goes to He that causes us all to be. Oh. And if they're thinking we can, we show them that. Just as long as we stand. A monument. We the people can't be broken. As long as we stay focused. I see my people rising. Whoa. No more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America. The peace rose for the sake of us. For the sake of us. I see my people rising. No more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America. Us. The peace rose for the sake of us. I see my people rising. Yeah.
I know it's 5:26 right now, but today is the exception to the rule. Let me get off Facebook because it's just not working for me. But every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be doing something called the Writings of Wisdom. I should be able to be heard on YouTube too. Can you check that as well? Toda Rabah. So the writings of wisdom, we are starting in the book of Proverbs. I'm not going to go on a whole spiel of what I brought out this past Wednesday, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit. So for those that study the scriptures or often say like Torah and Tanakh, I always got to bring this out. All right. So it's not Torah and Tanakh. Torah, the word Torah is instruction, right? Torot is instructions, multiple. So Tanakh is a acronym of Torah, Nebi'im, and Ketubim. All right. So the Nebi'im is the prophets. So you have the royal Torah law, Torah. The Nebi'im is the prophets. And then the Ketubim is the writings. So that's where they come up with Tanakh. That's where Tanakh comes from. But this segment that we're doing with House of Balance Network, if you're on TikTok, man, make sure you all come over to YouTube, House of Balance Network, and subscribe to the channel. But we're going to go through the writings of wisdom, and we're going to start in Proverbs because mostly everyone that identifies with the Bible recognize Proverbs to be a book of wisdom, right? So we're going to start there. We already did Proverbs chapter 1. It was a lot of things we brought out. I just put a book out on Amazon. We got a few books actually coming out on Amazon, about 3 or 4 of them this month, and just be on the lookout every month. But no one is perfect, right? The lie that Christianity gave us. This is not towards Christians in general. This is towards the system or the theological system of Christianity, putting their school of thought, church fathers, their school of thought on a people or group of people that didn't have the same school of thought. So the no one is perfect is to show that our understanding of that perfect is not the understanding scripturally or biblically. All right. So with this wisdom writings, we're going to be going through starting in Proverbs. And then it's also going to, as we continue, it's going to deal with any type of writings that's dealing with wisdom. Most men and or women that that went through exilic periods, right? Went through captive periods, but mostly exilic periods. You found them often writing literature to get the people to grasp the understanding of the scriptures truly, so they wouldn't be corrupted by the people that they were around, the customs that they were learning. That's what the writings are. So when we see Shlomo or Solomon, or we see Dawood, or we see Sirach, or we see those in our times as writing literature that'll have a sound understanding of scriptures. That's the idea of it. All right. So in the first chapter, we saw that he was speaking of and talking about blamelessness. He also said, well, no, that's the second chapter. We're going into that now. He also said in the first chapter, my son, do not dwell or listen to sinners. Don't follow their ways. Don't do any of those things. That's what Solomon said. He said, do not. Let's go to it really quickly. Let me pull it up on the screen for those that's on YouTube, pulling it up on the screen so you can see what was actually said. And then we'll continue. We're only going to be on for a little while. Typically, we'll be on longer, but I have to make a move really quickly. Let me do this too. All right. So let me take you down to where he says this, right? So Solomon at this point between verses 1 through 20, he's talking to his child, his son, right? And that's what parents are supposed to do. But let's get to the part really quickly. And then we're going to go to chapter 2 because we already did chapter 1. You will have to go back to the writings of wisdom, the last live that we went through. You'll be able to go through that first part of what I brought out. All right. So he says really quickly, let me get to it. Here we go. So verse 10, but I'll start at verse 8. It says, listen, my son, to your father's instruction and do not ignore your mother's teaching. I already talked about that in the first one. For they are graceful, wreath for your head and necklaces for your neck. Now watch this. It says, my son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. So this idea that we have today that everyone's a sinner, we're all sinners, is not true. It's not the understanding of anyone in the scripture contextually, right? That everyone is a sinner. Now, it's interesting because Solomon, where Christianity and those that go with that school of thought as well, pick from is Ecclesiastes chapter 7. When he says, I'm going to paraphrase, there's no man on earth who does not sin, right? That's what he said. But Ecclesiastes is a moment in time to where he did a whole bunch of things that was against the supreme king or the most high, some may say, right? So he had to bring down or dumb down what he went through, what he did. He know what he did. He said all is vanity. All of this stuff is vanity. But we're reading right here in Proverbs, we begin to see that he's not even saying all it's vanity. So in the last video, I was showing that sometimes we have to read it contextually. We have to understand what's the times that the person is going through. What level of understanding that does he have at this moment or she have at this moment? But right here, he said, my son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. So he's separating his son and himself from sinners as the supreme king does as well. Now, that isn't to say that he doesn't want people to come out of that. He doesn't want anyone to perish. And that's another context behind that too, but I'm not going to get into that. But at the same time, he cannot be amongst them. He will pull himself away from them. All right. So let's go to chapter 2. If you want to get more thorough explanation of what I'm saying, you have to watch the first one. This is the second one of this series of the writings of wisdom, an ongoing journey through ancient and modern instruction, right? With Chief Prince Shema. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next chapter. See if we can get into what I wanted to bring out the first time. All right. So he says, my son, if you will receive my words and treasure my commandments within you, right? He is literally saying and doing the same thing as what the Supreme King Yah did with his people. And that is receive what I'm telling you and treasure it. These commandments that I'm putting within you, right? How is it being put in within you? Because it's being taught. It's consistently being presented to you. You are operating within a culture, and this is your daily life. How can I prove this? You see this with every and any individual in the text that was righteous. Any righteous man or woman, they was always amongst a community of people, and they had integrity, instructions, they had structure. All these things mattered, right? So he says, and treasure my commandments within you. Make your ear attentive to wisdom. Why is it attentive? Because sometimes we can hear wisdom, but we're not attentive to it. It can be right before us, these different things that's being said, presented, shown to you so that you can overcome it, but we're not attentive to it. It's not the focus. So he says, make your ear attentive, incline your heart to understanding. So make sure that your mind and your heart, synonymous, Hebraically speaking, is inclined, is willing to go upon, right? Is willing to make sure that you are climbing up that level, right? In order to get to the understanding that you need. You can't stay where you at. So you have to incline, right? Let's keep going. Watch this. For if you cry out for insight and raise your voice for understanding, if you seek her as silver and search for her as hidden or for hidden treasures. So you need to seek wisdom, seek understanding as though you do when you're trying to get the bag. Most of us, we try to get the bag. That's all we talk about. That's what most people talk about. They will put that over any and everything. And that's what's hindering you to get closer to the Supreme King Yah. Still do it, but don't put that over what you're claiming that you're doing. A lot of us claim we're a son or a daughter of Elohim or the Supreme King Yah. We say it, but a son or a daughter or a servant, or whatever you want to call yourself, or a man of Elohim, a woman of Elohim, they move a certain way. And that way that they move is a lot different than what we're seeing today. A lot different. All right. Then it says, then you will understand the fear of Yah and discover the knowledge of Elohim. That's when you will understand the fear of Yah, right? The reverence of the Supreme King Yah. And that's when you will discover the knowledge, because most of us do not have true knowledge of what we claim we're reading or what we're reading, right? Who we claim to be serving, right? We say that we're sons and daughters of. We don't have the proper knowledge. A lot of time it's because of what's being fed to us. But a true man and or woman that is seeking wholeheartedly is going to have someone or a group of individuals come across to bring you the right understanding, right? For the Supreme King gives wisdom. This is Proverbs 2:6. From his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. So what is his mouth? The scripture often talks about the prophets being the mouth of the Supreme King, right? Moshe, all the men and or women that was from him was the mouth. And in their mouth, they often talked about what thus says the Supreme King. Often talked about what we're supposed to be doing. Often talked about, hey, you have to follow my commands or follow my laws. Now, that's going to rub people the wrong way, especially if you're in Christianity. Oh, well, shoot, that's over and done with. It's supposed to reveal that we can't do it anyway. Well, that don't make any sense. And we allow something that doesn't make sense in real time to cause us to go totally against what we claim we read, what we claim that we go by. But I'm not going to get back into that because I already said that on Wednesday's teaching. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. Here we go. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity. Hold on, let me see something real quick there. Let me check out this Hebrew really quickly because this translation. And this is the part that gets to me the most. This is the part that gets to me the most. All right, so it's a word called tam and tamim in Hebrew, right? That's what this word is and derives from. Let's click on it. So tam is integrity, but watch this. Let's get out of the Hebrew. Let's keep reading though. He stores up sound wisdom for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk in integrity, guarding the paths of justice, and he watches over the way of his godly ones. Then you will discern righteousness, justice, and integrity, and every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be delightful to your soul. All right. I'm trying to look for. Where's my book at? Let me pull up another. So I may be looking for something else. All right. Let's see. Is this it? So it very well may be in chapter 5, but we want to keep going. I just wanted to double check really quickly. It may be in chapter 5, but we're still going to go through each chapter. Give me a second. 1 second, you all. 1 second, 1 second. And it is okay if it is in chapter 5, but I want to bring this out. Where is it at? Where is it at? All right. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is the word that it's a word in Hebrew that's tam or tamim for those that may not be familiar with it. This word is the word that you will see being spoken about consistently for those who were deemed perfect, according to the scripture. Tamim, or blameless, right? I think it is chapter 2. That may have just been a different translation. Let me see something. And that word, tam or tamim, biblically speaking, is dealing with behavior. So this individual, this person that was tam or tamim, was perfect in their behavior, their integrity. That's why we see in this translation, we saw it said integrity. They're perfect in their integrity, their wholeness when it comes to servitude or obedience within the text or to the Supreme King or the Most High. These individuals, you couldn't find fault in them whenever in their whole walk. They wouldn't, if they were deemed this or called this, you wouldn't find any fault in them as far as serving the Supreme King. You won't find it at all. But this isn't taught in most of the religions that operate with the scriptures. Most churches that operate, they're not going to teach this. All right. Here we go. All right, let's keep going. So guarding the paths of justice, and he watches over the way of his godly ones. Then you will discern righteousness, justice, and integrity, and every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be delightful to your soul, right? Discretion will watch over you. This is very important because discretion doesn't mean to hide some wickedness or something that is against the supreme king or something that is evil. That doesn't mean that, but it means from a standpoint, if you're a wise individual, you're going to be discreet on certain things because people will grab everything that you're putting out there and they can manipulate it. They can change it, right? They can bring evil upon it. Whatever verbiage you want to use. I know a lot of people don't like hearing terms like evil and wicked, right? That's so biblical. But to sum it up and make it simple, it's just something that's going against what the Supreme King has showed us and told us to do and instructed us to do. Something that's harming individuals. For example, if you are slandering someone, that can be deemed as evil, wicked. If you're slandering, right? Especially if you're a teacher or someone that was given this information on confidence, and you go ahead and you start slandering or gossiping, right? That's not discreet. To rescue you from the way of evil, from a person who speaks perverse things, for those who leave the paths of uprightness to walk in the ways of darkness, who delight in doing evil and rejoice in perversity of evil, whose paths are crooked, so not straight, not balanced, and who are devious in their ways, to rescue you from the strange woman, from the foreign woman who flatters with her words. So this is very important because this is Solomon or Shlomo. He's saying this in the beginning. This is how he's speaking. We're going to see this in chapter 5 when we get there. He's telling you to stay away from strange women or foreign women who flatter with their words. But then when we get to Ecclesiastes, we know he done went through foreign women. And then now when you know that context and you start hearing him say, there is no man on earth who does not sin. Why is he saying that when he's speaking differently now? Why is he saying that when he tells his son in the beginning of his path and his walk, do not go among the sinners and do not consent with them? He has an understanding at this point, but his understanding shifts when he's trying to make sense of what he did. At the end of Ecclesiastes, he comes back to his senses and he says that the whole duty of man, right, is to keep the commandments of the Most High. That's the whole duty of man. We need to see that. We need to break that up and understand differently than what's been given to us. Because it would seem as though he's bipolar, but he's not. He is what you all say, we're all human, right? That still can be an excuse because there are men and women who went throughout their whole life consistent or learned about the right way. And then when they learned and started from that point, they were consistent all the way through. And in every generation, you have men and or women that in the eyes of the Supreme King, according to our history and our culture and our literature, that was deemed perfect or blameless. 20, verse 17, who leaves the companion of her youth and forgets the covenant of her Elohim, right? For her house sinks down to death and her tracks lead to the dead. The covenant, forgets the covenant of her Elohim, right? None who go to her return, nor do they reach the paths of life. We just did a lesson in regards to Abraham and Lot, or Lot. And 3 things happened with that. And we see when they separated, Lot had a whole lot of people with him. And when he went towards Sodom and Gomorrah, he wasn't in there yet, but he was up until that point, right? It said the word is odd, right? Toward or until. And we see that when he separated himself with someone who was righteous, who he knows was blameless, who he knows that did all that the Supreme King had told him, he separated himself from that. But he wasn't at the level of Abraham to where he can convince all the people that was with him to maintain. How can I prove it? When they had kidnapped, when they had conquered them, Abraham had to go save them. How and why did Abraham have to go save them? Because they, at that point, was actually living in Sodom. They was no longer just at the beginning point. They was living there. Then when he saved them, he went back. He didn't just go back. He ended up being one of the elders amongst the gates, Lot or Lot. You all remember all the people that he had with him. Then when the messengers were sent to go down to Sodom, it was only 1 or 3 people, right? The daughters and the wife that left with him. What happened to all the people that was with him? None who go to her return, nor do they reach the paths of life. Once you're locked in this lifestyle or this culture or this custom that is opposite of the Supreme King Yah, once you lock in, your return is almost impossible. So it says, verse 20, Proverbs 2 and 20, so you will walk in the way of good people and keep the paths of the righteous. So it's telling you not to go down that path. And watch this. For the upright, y'all ready for this? This is the part I was looking for. Verse 21, Proverbs 2. Okay? If Solomon believed wholeheartedly what he was saying, 100%, and this was true across the board with any and every individual, why would he say this part? Verse 21, for the upright will live in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. Wait a minute. I thought everybody was sinners. Well, we already know in chapter 1, he said, told his son, do not go amongst the sinners and do not consent with them. That was chapter 1. Then chapter 2, as he's building his case in his literature, he says, for the upright, verse 21, will live in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. The perfect will remain in it. What did I say that word was? Right? Tamim. So this is dealing with multiple people, but Tamim is someone that is perfect or blameless. Tamim is plural. So I'm going to stop there. We'll continue. I may go back over this on Monday to really get through it. It says, but the wicked will be eliminated from the land, and the treacherous will be torn away from it. So we're probably going to revisit this because I just wanted to come on really quickly just to make sure that it was something that we could leave you all with. On the third Shabbat, we do not have service. We have service only on the first, the second, and the fourth Shabbat. Only on the first, the second, and the fourth Shabbat. If you want any updates or anything like that, you all go on our Facebook. And go ahead, join our Facebook.com House of Balance Assembly. Join this. Every update, all of these different things that we're going to be putting out throughout the week will be here. All right. And we truly encourage you to come and join Facebook.com House of Balance Assembly. Join that page. All right. But yeah, on the third Shabbat, Yom Shabbat, we do not have service. We typically go out and feed the less fortunate, or we fellowship with other assemblies in the state or outside of the state, or we just fellowship in general. All right. But I did want to leave you all with that. But think about that. Go to Proverbs chapter 1, go to Proverbs chapter 2, and come read it from the mindset of what has been given and said to you. Then number 2, read it from the mindset of what you read in Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and what you read in 1 Kings when he says the same thing before he became king. It may be 2 Kings. It's one of the two. Before he became king, he said something. You got to ask yourself, why is he saying don't go amongst the sinners, don't consent with them? So he doesn't believe that everybody's sinners. And then in chapter 2 right here, he says, verse 21, he says that the upright will live in the land, and the perfect or the blameless will remain in it. So if you're blameless or perfect, then that means you're not sinning either. So what's the context of what he's saying in First Kings? And what's the context in what he's saying in Ecclesiastes chapter 7? For those that's interested, make sure you contact us. If you're interested in our books that we're putting out, No One is Perfect, The Lies Christianity Gave Us, is on Amazon. We do ask that you come directly to us for the books, because Amazon do take a whole lot from authors. You know, authors that's extremely popular, it doesn't affect them like that. But those of us that's not authors like them, it does affect us. So if you're interested in that book, and the books that we have to come after that, my wife's book, my Isha's book, The Journey of the Proverbs Woman, Part 1, should be on Amazon tomorrow. But just contact us, houseofbalance12@gmail.com, if you are interested in the book. If you know us personally, let us know. If you don't know us personally, but you join the Facebook account, House of Balance Assembly, you can comment on one of the posts and let us know that you're interested in the book. All right. We also have a book club group on Facebook, House of Balance Book Club. That's going to be dealing with every book that we're going to be putting out there, you all, and just building with people in regards to other literature as well. So without further ado, may the Most High bless and guard each and every one of you in righteousness. Shalom, shalom. Until next time, stay tuned. I will be putting things out as the days go by, and we'll see you all at the next segment that we go live on. Shalom, shalom.
I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. I see a dream, that dream is green, and I don't mean material things. Freedom to the land, child, woman, and man, as we take up for what we stand. Better days and better nights, as we stand and unite. We're one and the same. Why is it so hard not to point and to blame? Better sheet, get our houses in order, and we'll see the peace. There are steps that we must take if we want to see.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us.
The sake of us, the sake of us.
I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. No more failing, telling me and beneath. What a beautiful moment, and a sight I can't wait to see. Even if I miss it, at least I wasn't part of the mission. Changing lives of men, women, and children. All glory goes to He that causes us all to be. And if they're thinking we can, show them that just as long as we stand. A monument, we the people can't be broken as long as we stay focused. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. For the sake of us. I see my people rising, no more stopping us. A couple billion acres across America, us. The peace rose for the sake of us. I see my